Okay, to clarify, this proposal is just to endorse the actions that happened that day and to put the statement that has read on the website. Does that answer your concerns?
But still, like, we're going to put the thing about the don't no. The diversity of candidates.
I do.
I think that it's
There was a diversity of tactics.
Wait, we're not going to jump stack anymore. If you want to get on stack and talk about this, raise your hand.
Okay, so do we have any responses to Austin's concerns?
As explained earlier, there is no proposal here for any kind of specific civil disobedience or any actions to agitate the police. As someone who was jailed from Saturday night to Monday night, based on just marching and being a part of a group and knowing 300 to 400 people who are illegally arrested, I actually take personal offense that by saying no diversity of tactics, you are implying that people were involving themselves in tactics that were violent. This is directly buying into the media smear campaign. So I would really appreciate it if you would draw that objection.
Thank you.
Before I move on, can we try to maintain responses to the questions that are being asked, whether or not you agree with the concerns being addressed, and try to keep it to the matter at hand and not personal attacks?
My thought is, if we put out that we don't support the diversity of tactics, that's not an endorsement, that's a condemnation. And we don't have the right to tell other people what to do. In Occupy San Francisco, we have a non-violent agreement with ourselves. And that's what we can do. We can support by being non-violent. What we are doing is endorsing and supporting the people who weren't violent, especially the people that were running away, who were kettled before, and no dispersal order was given the first time they were kettled. And when I say kettled, I mean they were surrounded on all sides. The only exit was to take down a fence. So I support this, and I don't support adding the diversity of tactics because that is a condemnation, not an endorsement of support.
Maria's next.
I'm actually concerned about the concerns we may have regarding our solidarity with Oakland. We are one group of people that should be together. Goldman Sachs, all the bankers, all the corporations, they're working together. There is solidarity and they don't care. And when we talk about violence, let's not forget that the kids that are dying right now because they don't have health insurance, that's a violence. The homeless people that don't have to eat, they don't have a place to live, that's violence. The people that is getting thrown out of their houses, that's violence. So let's not forget that, and I think that I totally support that. My concern is also that we are not doing too much to go to the public and tell all the testimonies that I heard. You will hear that and you will cry about it. What they're doing is it's incredible, and we need to do even more than that.
Yeah, I stand here in solidarity with my brothers and sisters in Oakland, and I think there's a lot of people here who support a diversity of tactics. It doesn't mean that everybody supports every tactic, and it doesn't mean that we support violence, but it does mean that we can't make some sort of a statement like that, I think. And I think we can stand in solidarity.
I definitely, I do not support diversity of tactics. So I agree with in a sense, what Qasim and David were saying, but at the same time, I do support the statement. If there was something in the statement that was endorsing diversity of tactics, I would not support it, but it seems like it is focused on condemning the police, which we should condemn. And in that sense, I think it is something that is pretty broadly worth accepting. So I hear the concerns, but I also support the proposal.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Actually, you were holding it. Thanks. I understand your things. I was also there, and I remember at one point they were saying when I didn't know at the time that we were right in front of the place we were supposed to be, but right in front of the fence, and they were saying, well, there's 50 of them and selling the bus. Let's storm the fence, and I saw that fan the flames, and after that, I decided I stand solidarity with everything with Oakland, as long as they do a lot of good, but not with that kind of stuff. And I can let them do what they want, but I can't be part of something that does something with that could happen. And this is why I never wanted to ever, be in this position of lying or something, and I really didn't. I've stood aside many times, but this I really do feel that strongly about.
All right, so we go to David now.
Time to escalate.
How are you?
As Mao said, you don't go into battle against overwhelming forces that outgun you and outnumber you and outtrain. Instead, you strategically join battle when you have a chance of actually achieving victory. I raised the question of the diversity clause. Civil disobedience, not because I'm against it. I'm not nonviolent. I believe that there are times when destruction of property is appropriate. I believe that there are times when assault against officers or others is appropriate. The Stonewall Riot would be a perfect example. But when you're outnumbered, how many of us have had military training, may I ask? The Oakland PD has trained with the U.S. military for crowd control tactics. And if we're outgunned and outnumbered and kettled on a terrain that is not ours, with people who have weapons galore, then it's time to strategically think what are appropriate tactics that are going to not be suicidal. Because if we go down a suicidal path, we will get smaller and more irrelevant. And having witnessed that occurring in the 60s with the Weather Underground, maintaining some of the same tactical and strategic objectives, I suggest people learn their history. There are times to engage the enemy and ways to engage the enemy, and there are ways that are inappropriate. So I stand in solidarity with the Oakland comrades in terms of what happened, and everyone who was arrested there in terms of what happened. I just think that repeated fuck the police marches is violence.
I'd just like to say, for people who are getting stuck, we're still responding to Possum's concern about her concern requesting an addition that we do not support a diversity of tactics in our condemnation of the Oakland police.
Well, no, in this February 6th night.
Yeah,
They had no reason.
Okay, I think that it's just a straight endorsement of that. I don't think we're putting out any statement regarding what we're doing with Oakland.
But it's nothing to do with the police. I mean, they were off on that note.
The clarification is that I read off the events that are part of the February 6th action. It is not an endorsement of the fuck the police marches, and it does not have anything in it about diversity of tactics. It simply is a march to the courthouse to support the people who've been illegally arrested, and a 9 o'clock rally, as well as a teach-in about police repression.
Okay, since Possum's concern was answered to an extent, do any other people have concerns regarding this proposal?
know people were on stack, but since Awesome stood aside, it seems.
Okay. Okay, Raul, you have a concern regarding the proposal?
Yeah. In order for us to endorse the February 6th action, we should probably know more about it than that little breakdown. I totally support the verbiage at the beginning of that. It was like very well put and needs to be said. We totally condemn that sort of police action, and we should go do more of that with our own protection here as well, on a diplomatic level. I'm just afraid that if we endorse this now, we can find out later that there's like banker funding and some sort of arm in there that might be some kind of thing. I just don't know what's up with that yet, and I would have to research it first for me to personally endorse it. I could stand aside. I'm not going to block that.
I am sort of speaking out, but from what I heard from Beth's explanation of it, I think that's all that anybody knows, is that there are going to be several events planned that day to stand in solidarity with the people who were attacked by Oakland police. So that's my understanding.
I heard that. I heard all of that.
Not just to stand in solidarity, but to educate people about the special conflict.
Okay, are there any responses to Raul's concern?
What is a concern?
Milo, since you also are pretty abreast of this, have you seen any other information about the February 6th Day of Action that was not cited here? I just took
my information from the website also.
Yeah, I just took the proposal that was passed by Occupy Oakland.
So yeah, it's sounding like all we know is what Occupy Oakland knows.
Well, I haven't. What I'm saying is, I would have to personally research it in order to endorse that personally. And I suspect that there is more behind it, as that has happened before. I found out various entities connected to problems that I had suspected were linked.
To clarify, you're willing to stand aside regarding this proposal, and is that what you said?
If you chopped off the bottom part, I'd be in full support of it. Otherwise, I would stand aside.
Okay.
I don't think it probably doesn't represent me.
Okay. So are you okay with standing aside with the proposal as stand, or would you like to?
I think that what's going on with our group conversation at OSF is like kind of like generally educating people as to what's happening. If something comes out later, then we'll be like, oh.
So, are there any other concerns regarding? Okay. Can we move towards consensus then? Okay, everybody in favor of the proposal? Everybody who is willing to stand aside on the sideways? Okay. Are there any blocks?
Where else is it going?
No blocks. That means that consensus has been reached. Is there anybody who would like to speak about their stand aside?
About their what?
About their stand aside? Nobody wants to speak about their stand aside. Okay.
Already did.
Okay, next we're moving on to the rest of the proposals that had come in while we were talking about this. These are all going to be tabled after they are brought up to be talked about at a later General Assembly.
Point of information, the Women's March on March 10th was already proposed by Deborah and Kelly on last Thursday. So it is a consensual upon proposal.
Okay, so we're going to bring up the other proposals that are going to be tabled, and then we'll go to the March 11th one that's apparently came in a little bit late. So,
So we have a lot of food over here, guys. We're going to take it to we did find a refrigerator for it, so we can bring some of it back tomorrow and feed everybody again. But if anybody else wants to take some of it home, please come over and see us now. Thank you.
So on Tuesday, me and Zayda had a proposal for Friday, February 10th at 6 p.m. to have a rally and march against state repression of Occupy and our right to assemble. So I guess I'm going to need consensus on. I don't know. That's pretty much the proposal, to have a anti-state repression march and rally on Friday, February 10th at 6 p.m.
This is a returning proposal?
Yeah, we proposed it on Tuesday.
Do you have any other proposals that are going to be tabled right away? We're trying to get to the ones that are going to be tabled right away, and then we'll start the
I think we have. Hello?
What was it? What's the question?
Hey, Kelly, what's up, Sarah?
for the first time, so that we can.
Yeah, you want me to read it?
The proposal is for Friday, February 10th at 6 p.m. to have a rally and march against the state repression of Occupy and our right to assemble.
Didn't Sarah just say that?
Yeah, I just want to say
That was the question?
No, I asked, do you have a proposal that hasn't come up before?
Oh, sorry, I apologize. Yes.
So this is from the Direct Action Working Group. This is from the Direct Action Working Group. We have a proposal called Occupy San Quentin. And here goes. Occupy Oakland and others have called for a national day of action on February 20th to stand in solidarity with the people confined within its walls and to demand an end to mass incarceration. Occupy Oakland would like to have its sister, Occupy San Francisco, join in this National Day of Action in San Quentin Prison at 12 noon. As we face police brutality for our movement, let us stand in solidarity with political prisoners and poor people and people of color that face police brutality and mass incarceration. Demand our taxes be used for the development of people, not prisons.
Okay, are there any clarifying questions regarding that proposal?
If someone's interested, who to talk to, you, if you have interest in, say, providing transportation or something like that? Is that getting organized?
Yeah, I can get you plugged into more of the people working on that within the Direct Action Working Group. So yeah.
Okay, are there any other clarifying questions regarding this proposal?
These are two different proposals. Yeah. This one's for February 20th. This one's Direct Action. And Occupy Oakland's already organizing it, so it's not like we have to.
Are there any other clarifying questions? Are there any concerns?
Okay, this is the concern. I support this, but if you just listen and look at your list of actions just from this meeting, when would we work? When would we do anything else? And I feel like we need to make some decisions about what our priorities are, because we can't do it all. And when we try to, we're spread so thin that we're not as effective as we could be. But it's not that I don't support this at all.
See, I totally understand. Thankfully, this is one of the actions that we're not even organizing. It's other groups are already organizing it.
from Oakland, Critical Resistance, which is Angela Davis's organization. So we're just endorsing it, and people want to go, they can just go and support.
Yeah, I just think that Susan has raised a very important issue, which is there was a certain poetry to this movement back when, where we were nimble on our feet and we took the enemy by surprise and we did new things. And now we're starting to fall. I'm afraid I support Sue. Who could be against, you know? Well, it is that we're signing on to everything. We're spreading ourselves too thin, and it's beginning to look like the standard San Francisco left, marching every week or two about this, that, or the other thing. And I would like to see us strategize and figure out where we're going in a more strategic way. I support it, but
Well observed.
So there is another proposal from the Direct Action Working Group that Kelly Johnson's been organizing, a women's march on March 10th. We want to bring that for its initial submission too, and I think we're waiting for the exact details.
It's already been submitted. It can be consensus upon. It was already done.
Oh, it was already consensus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it was submitted.
It was already introduced? Yeah. Can we consensus on that one?
This is a point of information, but it's also a direct response to the concept that we're spreading ourselves too thin. And I believe I know the reason why. I turned on the radio, NPR, today and listened to a lot of bullshit about what happened in Oakland. People are forgetting why this is happening. We wouldn't be spreading ourselves too thin if we reminded people why we're out here and why we're doing this. Because it needs to be done. This is not just some silly little rebellion over some ancillary concept. People's rights are being fucking usurped and taken away. That's a very serious thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay, are there any other concerns directly related to the San Quentin action and not general concerns? Because this will be tabled since it's the first time it's coming up. We're just hearing direct concerns regarding this. Okay, if anybody else wants to talk about this proposal, they can contact Zagam afterwards. Is that right, Zagam?
Yeah.
Okay.
From Direct Action.
Okay, you can talk to Zagam or somebody from the Direct Action. Okay, moving on to the proposal that can be consensus upon.
That's what we're waiting for.
March 10th.
March 10th? Still waiting for the email. Unless someone has
I
it.
don't have the text of it, but I can tell you that I can tell you about it if you want.
Yeah.
It was brought forward by the Occupy San Francisco Women's Alliance, spearheaded by Kelly. She wants to do a march and rally on March 10th in solidarity, or well, in conjunction with that being International Women's Day. The plan was to meet here at 3 p.m. We're going to have a march, rally following in Sue Bierman Park. That's it in a nutshell.
Nice.
Is anybody else doing a march for any other women's supposed to do a march?
I don't have the, I'm sorry, I don't
just
have,
wondering.
that's all the information that I have,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, are there any other clarifying questions regarding this proposal?
Okay.
Are there any
I was just curious what's going on that week. I mean, a few other people came forward and said we're doing too much. What else is going on that week?
Does anybody know what else is going on the week of March 10th?
Yeah, I know one thing. First through the 5th.
March 1st through the 5th, Occupy Education, Occupy San Francisco, and many others are having a weekday or weekend-long actions. We're going to go to Sacramento, but that's like 5 days away. So that's what we're going to be doing March 1st through 5th.
Okay, are there any other clarifying questions regarding clarifying question?
Yeah, my clarifying question would be, if we allow this proposal to be consented upon without having it written up and brought back to us so we can see it, are we going to have to allow other proposals that were submitted, brought back, and then consented upon without having them brought back in written form?
I believe it is written, and somebody read it off of their phone a little bit ago, and they just don't have that right now. Is that what happened?
Yeah, and I'm waiting for an email too from Kelly with the actual text, but it was read, has been previously read to GA already. But I'm gonna try to call Kelly again.
I don't know if anyone is here, but it's been, the advertisements for it have been on our information table for about a week. Just a point of information. I don't know if anyone has the advertisement here, but they've been going out.
It was written up on Tuesday, and I saw her have that paper, so it is written up.
So it sounds like we have had the written form of this proposal. Does that answer your question, David? Okay. Are there any concerns regarding this proposal? Okay. If there are no concerns, let's move towards consensus. Okay, everybody in favor of the March 10th action endorsement? Thumbs up. Okay, everybody standing aside, sideways?
It's too late.
Okay, anybody who is blocking this proposal, thumbs down. Block. Block. Okay, that means we have consensus endorsing the March 10th proposal.
Oh, women!
Yeah!
Yes, women!
So it sounds like that's the rest of the proposals. Sounds like we have. Oh, yes, there is an amendment to the earlier proposal that was tabled.
Earlier, we talked about the environmental group that formed today and our plan for an action on February 14th, Valentine's Day. We forgot to mention that we probably want about $35 to pay for some materials for our action. So when we come back on Tuesday, that will be part of our proposal.
Sarah over here, does she have the print of it? Okay, it's sounding like the San Quentin action.
No, not the San Quentin, there's another one.
Okay, we just consented on that.
No.
Yeah, didn't we?
That's what I was asking. The other one, we just got done. No, that was the Women's March on March 10th. There's a February 10th.
You have three?
Action.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I was confused.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, here is another proposal from Second.
Okay, this is the same one Sarah brought up earlier. We first brought it to GA on Tuesday. This is coming from the OccupySF Autonomous Action Working Group. And it goes on Friday, February 10th at 6 p.m. rally and march against the state repression of Occupy and our right to assemble. It's in response to all the police attacks on all the Occupies, all the arrests. We had a lot of people arrested just Sunday at Jeff. I mean, a bunch of people here have been arrested. Windsong was in there for like 42 hours, like 2 days or like 50 hours with no sleep, no blankets, nothing. It was just bright fluorescent lights. It's crazy what's going on, and the attacks. So we need to get this, get SF on the bandwagon and start demanding our rights to assemble.
Are there any clarifying questions to this proposal?
Yeah, where and when?
Is it in San Francisco or Oakland?
San Francisco.
I was wondering, since the time between now and that event is so soon, have you networked with other groups, unions, other things that can actually make it more powerful in this latent state?
Yeah, our working group is gonna organize and continue to do that until then and do the outreach that's needed to do.
Are there any other clarifying? clarifying questions? Are there any concerns directly in relation to this proposal?
Tonight we have, I think, approved all sorts of goody things. And we have had a tradition of weekly Saturday marches. Is there any reason why this could not be the focus of our Saturday march? And I would offer that as a friendly amendment if it were acceptable.
And so one of the reasons I think we didn't decide Saturday is because
We've all been going and standing in solidarity with Oakland recently in their Saturday marches. That's why we picked Friday. That's the main reason. And also we can have Oakland can come and stand in solidarity with us on Friday.
Yeah.
It's not happening on Saturday. We'll have more
agree
people
with
that way.
Perfect. No, I disagree with Steven.
yeah, it's gonna be here.
Okay, are there any other concerns regarding this proposal? Okay, let's move towards consensus then. All in favor of the action on February 10th? Thumbs up. Okay, all willing to stand aside? Okay, anybody wishing to block it? No blocks? That sounds like it's consensus. Does anybody who stood aside want to speak to their stand aside?
Here, number 2.
I was pulling a Zagam. I wasn't listening.
I wasn't listening either. Can you repeat that? What did we just consent on?
Okay, it sounds like we have consensus. Okay. It's 7:35 right now. Do we want to call it a night or do we want to move on to discussion? Can I get a temperature check on how many people want to have discussion tonight? Can I get some? Can I get technical fingers on who doesn't want to have a discussion, just wants to leave right now? Okay, that sounds like more people want to have a discussion. If you don't want to have a discussion, all proposals are done for the night and...
No, there hasn't. I was online for a proposal. I never got called.
Okay, sorry, I thought you were just on Stack, and I thought you were going to comment
Oh,
on
yeah.
Austin.
It sounds like there is another proposal.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted to add a proposal. Sorry.
This is the first one.
Lately there's been talk of 101 as far as our base camp at Bradley Manning Plaza being outed, being removed. 101 hasn't been the main place. It hasn't been our base camp. We've kind of gone underground, which is a good thing. A lot of people showed their faces who were scared to actually be here. We've joined strength. I have a proposal right now that 101 begin to be occupied immediately. I don't mean as far as in mass, but simply people having a presence. For the last 2-3 weeks, starting actually this year, there have been a group of us who've been down here. Last 2-3 days, 3 nights, we had run-ins with the police. It wasn't anything big. We shouted, we stayed non-violent, and they stayed adamant that they were just basically pissed we're here. And like a lot of us have been talking about, every time they come down to the march and the movement, when it comes down to it, it's going to be the group of people who are willing to get their hands dirty. And that group of people are the group of people that that are the backbone of this grassroots movement. Yeah. Everybody else talking about Occupy Oakland, Occupy SF, within the groups, within Occupy, and the occupiers themselves, who cares what your identity is? All of us have the same enemy, and we need to all be working together on it. And I just need to put out the proposal that you know that we've been holding it down on 101 without you guys. I'm glad and grateful that you've become so strong and gained so much tight networks with the community, but we need your presence, we need your support, and the bottom line is 101 is base camp, and it is empty except for the homeless group.
Yeah.
Hayat, do you have your proposal written and do you have support from at least 2 other people?
I just want action first. Whoever in support you heard, show up, word of mouth. Let your friends know we're here. Come here, say hello, an hour out of the night, anytime. There's usually somebody here. In the beginning, God spoke it. Forgive me for being his child. We're all his children. You're spoken.
pretty simple. Reoccupy
Well,
101 immediately.
Yeah, he needs, in order to have a proposal, he needs to have it written.
Let's write it down right
No,
now.
I understand the bureaucracy process. I'm just simply stating that
Let's write it down right
we
now.
wrote it down and we spoke it. It needs to be occupied. And no one occupies 101. There it goes. No one is occupied 101 except for the group people who want to call homeless, but they're not necessarily that. But call me homeless if I can be any way, kind of, I don't know, what is it, to be able to convince more people to show up, or show the hell up, man. There's not a bunch of ragtag people down here, it's the people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since this is the first time this proposal has come up, it will be tabled tonight. You can have a consensus about the next
Like
time
I
that
said,
it's
I'm
here.
glad to say that.
Can I make a point of process?
Y'all heard.
Since the proposal says immediately, maybe it's just a time-sensitive proposal.
It's not time sensitive unless it can wait until the following TA.
But
if it calls for
says
immediate action,
immediately.
it doesn't matter.
We are mimicking
How is that
the
not
same
time
system that we are
sensitive?
tearing
It
down.
says
Be
immediately
very
in the
cautious,
proposal.
Please. I love you all, but we are mimicking the same system we are tearing down because it is not productive. So I warn y'all, please be open-minded.
Everyone heard the process. I totally agree with this. I would also like to see more sign making stuff down here. So if anyone could bring some of that down here.
Yes, and a banner.
But the
Got a banner right behind you.
that we
Yeah.
decided
Oh, that's right. I
that
talked to the right
could
people
not
last
wait
night.
until the next
You see
TA.
it?
Like it could not wait. The movement would die if that was what was, going to be time sensitive. Like.
That is why
So,
everybody
I mean,
walk by
I
here think
hear
it's
you. I
dead.
want everybody
That's
to
why
come
we
down here.
decided
I
to
don't even think
reoccupy
we need to
24/7.
be a formal proposal. I think we just know that we need to get our butts down here. So
24/7.
that was it.
You know, it's been time sensitive since they kicked us out.
Yeah.
What the heck? It was an unspoken wound.
Hang on a second. I was hearing some discussion that this can be autonomous action and it doesn't necessarily need consensus. So I think that, is everyone okay with that? Are there anybody who's directly opposed to this issue being an autonomous issue? Nope. Nobody is directly opposed to that. Okay.
I think the purpose of this proposal is to get support from the community.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Still not time sensitive.
Just take temperature.
Okay. So it sounds like if somebody wants to, if people want to occupy, they're welcome to occupy. I mean, that's how we roll. But hang on. I'm just saying, it sounds like the proposal then would be for formal support of us reoccupying. And that will come up at a following TA. Are there any clarifying questions regarding that?
Point of information. I am part of Occupy. I've been part of Occupy since its first week of its inception. Occupy is here. I'm letting you know Occupy needs help. And I'm not naming names. Occupy needs help. Your base camp was taken away from you. It's been removed. There's been no action to keep a remaining presence here for our public. And you may encounter them in your homes, in your workplaces, but some of us don't have that. And when they come by here, people are, well, that's blown off the shelf. Occupy is over. Occupy SF is dead. It's another reason why people say Occupy Oakland. They begin to emerge there because they're doing stuff physically in their face, not behind closed doors and meetings.
Of course, if people want to help, you can always give me another megaphone. I'll fix the problem.
Yes, spread the megaphone. I got you. And addresses to supervisors.
Do you want us to come to consensus that everyone agree that there should be more presence here? Is that what that's what I'm hearing?
Yes, I like to hear that, but it matters not. I just want to speak to you.
Yeah. So even if we you want to talk?
No, you.
Can we have is there room for a discussion topic about this? After the proposal?
So since we did pass before that any proposal brought would be tabled if it's not under the guise of being time sensitive. I don't want to go round and round about whether this is time sensitive or not. I just wanted to ask the body, do you want to come to consensus on this call out for help or a presence down here more at 101? So can I get a temperature check with fingers to see if people want to do this? as opposed to tabling it and passing it on.
You don't have to do it tonight. I'm just letting you know the buzz should start going around. Because it wasn't clear.
I just, again, I have one concern. I already said, I'm totally behind this. I think that we all need to do everything that we can. I came down today, right, with a load of flyers to spend some time down here. So all that we can do, is good to do. My concern about doing this whole thing with it's an emergency proposal is the proposal equivalent of jumping stack. It's like I want this right now. It's an emergency. It's that's what it is. So that's my concern. I'm totally behind the president.
I know you are, Rachel. Who else? Go ahead.
Yes, it is an emergency proposal. Here's how I see it. There are people who don't have access to food, and they rely on GAs to have food at night. And sometimes Richard and Robin does come by with food, but when they see that there's less than 5, like just 4 people, they don't even leave the food pantry. They take it to other homeless people. So it really helps if you guys show up, because then Robin and Richard are more likely to feed the people that don't have access to food.
Did you want to say something? I know you were next. I have you. I saw you back there going.
I think I understand the steps we have to follow, but I agree with Bill, I agree with everybody. It should have been done a month ago. And to me, it is an emergency because they're already here, they already need it. And I don't see why we cannot pass it today. It's very, to me, it's time sensitive. Just listen to what she just said.
Yes. I have one person behind you. There you go, Ron. I have you after Beth.
So, this is like on topic but off topic. Like, right after we got raided for the last time, we restructured GA to be 3 days a week with the stipulation that at the end of January, beginning of February, we'd revisit that idea. And I think this kind of goes hand in hand with what Ayad is saying. I would really like to have us have daily community meetings down here at 6 so everyone can get food and we can maintain more of a presence here and be more in their faces, you know.
Remind ourselves
I have a
who we
clarification
are.
question from Rachel, and then I'll go follow the rest of the staff.
Yeah, I guess I would like the text of it, because I'm unclear if you're talking about putting tents down here. I want to know what this proposal consists of more specifically.
Showing up.
Do you want to respond to that? Bear with me, people. I'm sorry.
Once again, this is not a tedious thing. This is not something that is difficult or should be hard to wrap your mind around. The thing is that 101 was our base camp. That was destroyed. It was taken away during the holiday time when it was empty. There was nobody here. I was here as quite a few members of us who was here, not just the homeless who was here, even when it was raining. The whole thing is everybody went home. Nobody showed back up except for the few handful of people that I know. And I'm just saying what happened. This is our base camp. I'm not putting it to proposal. I'm letting you know this is an issue. This is something that you all have failed to address within yourselves and failed to echo in the proposal that was given a long time ago. I do not appreciate the bureaucracy in America. I don't appreciate the whole chain of command. We have begun to structure the exact same monster that we're trying to tear down, and we are getting nowhere now because of it. I'm just simply letting people know we're here, please. You know, if you want to represent, you are being represented. So take part in it.
No, that's just online. Beth, you're next.
I just want to echo that I think it is time sensitive, and as someone who checks communications emails, there are a lot of people who try and come to working group meetings who can't find them. So at least if we have a presence here, it will help getting more people in the community involved. We are very dispersed now. This, like he said, this is our base camp, and this should have been done months ago. So this is more than time sensitive.
I don't know that I need the megaphone. I still don't quite understand the proposal. I don't see how we can mandate a presence here. I don't understand when you say reoccupy if you're talking about that you want, the proposal is to put tents down here. or the proposal
You do not need a tent in front of 101 to be harassed. I don't know. It's happened to me a few times. You know, quite
I just
recently.
don't understand the proposal.
Us being here is sitting there with
All right,
cardboard.
wait. One person.
No, I'm answering. I'm answering you because I realize. I failed to answer you in the beginning. You don't need a tent to occupy. You don't need. All we use is a piece of cardboard and take turns sitting down. Period. I'm not saying bring a grill. I'm not saying bring flags and start hutching tents. I'm just saying occupy. Whatever you determine to be occupying a space, I suggested. Well, I don't know. You join with us and what we consider to be occupied. Don't worry. We don't harass the police. We don't scream and yell, except for night before last because someone was very rudely treated. Other than that, we're just sitting here in solidarity. That's all. I can't give you any guidelines for it. I can't. I occupy. There's a group of us who occupy. Whatever you determine or define that to be, please come do it. We don't use tents. We just sit around.
Well, okay, I understand. I understand. Hold on just one second. I don't think we need to consent upon this. I think we just need to do this. Everybody,
thank you. That's what I said in the beginning. Thank you.
It's not really a proposal
Mike,
to do it because actions are the commerce, right? Action first, or second. Okay, does anybody else want to? This is a great discussion topic. I think we can go on forward with this if you guys want to. Okay. Sorry for stealing your thunder.
Okay. As Mike just said, this does not need a proposal because people are already doing it, and we don't need proposals to further what's already being done. This is autonomous action if people want to come occupy. So a lot of twinkle fingers. I was twinkle fingering myself. If you want to come occupy, come occupy. That's wonderful. That being said, I think it also is a great discussion topic tonight if we want to move into discussion.
Does anybody else want to? Yep.
The only reason I think it might be an emergency is because we had 5 people who went to the hospital this January, and I was gone for 2 weeks, so I don't know if anybody went to the hospital when I was gone. But 5 people went to the hospital. When we're down here, we asked the police to call the ambulance because there's nobody down here with a phone. Luckily, we've been getting enough people to support us lately, but that's because of nearly Nick disrupting the GA and making it more clear to the rest of us that we need to call out for help. And I like that, but I think I'll let it go into discussion also.
I love you all.
We love you
February
20th. Does anyone else want to speak on this?
I love him. He is the shizzle
It's kind of long.
Big chills on my wrist.
I really like the spirit of this announcement, I suppose. And I know I would like to come down here more often. I personally just don't like sitting around though. So I was thinking the other day, should I bring a chessboard? Should I bring painting, posters?
Yes.
I'd like to know more of what other people would like to see here and see more of that.
Chalk. Discussion.
Since this topic has just been brought up, I'm going to pull out as facilitator.
I'm gonna occupy here tonight.
That's what's good.
Occupying. Bullshit. I've been here too long. All right. So I don't want to carry this around. I'll carry it around. Just discussion. I don't think we need a facilitator, so I'm just gonna step out.
Tonight, March?
A round table discussion.
Are we doing stats?
Okay, can I give a rundown of what we're
Hey, you hear that, Mike? They're going to reoccupy 101, starting with Snack Bar Mike. This fine gentleman here made the proposal to get our bus down here. Everybody.
Spoke about it. But to give everybody a rundown, basically, most people that's out here, even the guy Matt, who like rants and raves, he's a genius. He's just angry with society like the rest of us. I implore you to please take off your whatever America eyeglasses, whatever you want to call your, peel back your third eye and just start accepting people, because there's no telling who might show up. And as I recall, Occupy SF was we accept everyone thing.
That's right.
So, last
Keep
few
the
nights,
heartbeat on the street.
There was a police change a couple of nights ago where one officer told us it was okay to go to sleep just to really sit here.
I'm going to have to cut the end off here for the discussion. We're running short on battery. This is the end of the Occupy San Francisco GA. One Liberty reporting. Peace and love, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you for watching.